Bill Cosby's accuser remains just steps away from him in court as she details the alleged assault she suffered, including how she says the former TV star drugged her. This is now day 3 of his trial on charges of aggravated indecent assault. Cosby has pleaded not guilty. Andrea Constand's testimony continues after the lunch break. She alleges the comedian gave her blue pills to, quote, relax. Constand said she woke up to find Cosby's hand groping her private areas. The defense has questioned Constand's contact with Cosby after the night in question and after hours on the witness stand, continuing to ask about alleged inconsistencies. So is the defense scoring points in the cross-examination of the state's key witness? Criminal defense attorney Caroline Polisi is with us on the story. Great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
But we also should point out, too, the fact that there is a female attorney doing the cross-examination today, not the lead male attorney. Right. I would think that's a calculated move.
Absolutely, it's a calculated move. This is all, there's PR everywhere in the courtroom. I mean, it was not a mistake. And Angela Agrusa is an amazing attorney in her own right. Of course, she came in after Monique Presley stepped down. She's come out really publicly stating that the defense strategy here has really shifted towards a more nuanced approach. Initially, we saw the defense attorneys really hitting hard at all of the accusers in this Cosby case, saying they were making things up, they were out for this for money. Now we're seeing a bit of a more nuanced approach, saying perhaps some of these women have suffered from some type of false memory creation. I think there's a chance we might see an expert in this case get up and really speak to how memories fade over time, how things change. Of course, this allegation occurred over 13 years ago, and I think that we're seeing Ms. Agrusa really poke at the holes in Andrea Constand's story. Of course, it changed initially, right?
It did change, and they're poking in the holes not just with the hindsight of, okay, well, 13 years have passed, and so we don't remember sometimes as well things that happened 13 years ago, which most human beings would admit to.
Absolutely.
But the fact that there were inconsistencies from the beginning, and pointing out that there were 72 phone calls made to Bill Cosby after the night in question, that there were calls made to personal injury attorneys before authorities were notified.
She waited a year to contact the police. These are all things that one would assume if you had been the victim of a sexual assault, one would not engage in. So I think we're scoring big points here for the defense. Were it not Bill Cosby, had he not already really been convicted in the court of public opinion, I think that this could be an easy case for an acquittal.
Could be an easy case for an acquittal, but you use the word could there, which means that you think it is not. And I wonder, too, how much the jury would take into account. There has been, you know, some reaction from Bill Cosby in that courtroom. A little bit of a smirk, moving around, turning, reacting to things that Andrea Constand was saying on the stand. I would imagine his attorneys don't want him doing that.
I was going to say, too much in my opinion. If I were his attorney, and I've dealt with clients like this, you tell your defendants to zip it, keep a straight face, don't react to anything, because it's so prejudicial. That jury is watching every single move, every single inflection, every face that Bill Cosby makes just to see whether or not he's taking these allegations seriously, and so far he's not doing a good job at that.
What happens to, I mean, you know, you point out sort of the inconsistencies, and the defense rather is pointing out the fact that it took her a year to call the police. We should point out, too, that when you're talking about, you know, an alleged incident like the one that we're talking about, people can be really traumatized by that. And so there's no handbook for when or how you report it. That being said, what happens after they're done with her cross-examination? I would have imagined they would save her for their final witness. Where do we go now?
Well, that's a lot of people have been speculating on this. Of course, this was slotted to be a 2-week trial. We're already through 2 of the most impressive and really the star witnesses in the prosecution's case. So absolutely, I think people are wondering, where do we go? I mean, there is sort of a theory out there to come out strong, hit the jury hard with this sort of emotional testimony. Of course, we heard from Kelly Johnson yesterday, another star witness in this case, which I think is going to be extremely damaging. Remember, I think a lot of this case was really waged in pretrial motions. The prosecution sought to admit 13 women to get on the stand to testify. You know, they made an argument, a disingenuous argument, in my opinion, that this was going to go to his modus operandi, that because he had perpetrated, you know, a crime similar to this one in the past, that he did it this way in Ms. case. However, just letting one of those witnesses testify, incredibly damaging for the defense. So you're right. I think what we're going to see are some type of expert testimony, to be sure. And then we have to see what kind of case the defense puts on. Remember, they don't have to put on a case, but I think they will.
All right, well, we'll be watching. Helen, great to have you with us today.
Thank you.